Hi everyone, this is going to be a tarot reading on your soul purpose. The first pile is going to be this mushroom statue that has little eyes on it. You can see with the angel deck. The second pile is going to be this jester from Mardi Gras. With the tarot deck. And the third pile is going to be this frog, or toad, who has coins growing out of it. Hi Bella, if you chose this mushroom, this will be a reading on what your spiritual power is. Spirit, please allow me to get in contact with everyone watching this reading. Please allow me to touch on their situation in some way. Raise vibration, and those watch over them. What is this? Yeah, you have someone of high material status, or just like a very wise, like abundant person who watches over you. In the 5D realm. Spirit, please tell me about this person's spiritual power. You have a power to put things on a pause and then all of a sudden make them start back up again. I'm hearing stop time. You may be able to like manipulate the way people perceive time, or the way you perceive time. Spirit, give me messages on this person's spiritual power. Follow on spiritual power. So we have 5 of Cups. We have the Chariot in reverse. And we have the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands stacked on top of each other. Yes, you definitely have a way of coming in and out of things. Like Knight of Wands, Knights don't stick around. So you might have a way of disappearing into the darkness, or it's like half of you is in this reality and the other half of you is in another reality. Pisces energy. And it's weird because sometimes you feel like you can't find the balance between those two sides of you, Gemini. But that's how you balance in your real life. I feel like people misunderstand you on the daily and actively misconstrue your actions to be very, very negative. But it's just kind of like the way you move, the way you manifest your sense of like expression in the world is like I don't know, it offends people sometimes, but you can't change that about yourself. Like, I don't know what people expect from you. People expect they expect things from you that you can't possibly achieve. And you're constantly in this sort of pain with this Five of Cups, where like people, you can't establish those real friendships or those real relationships because you feel like there's always this block of like distrust. Maybe you attract a lot of like really like angry people who just like get angry easily, or people who just are thinking more about themselves and less about like the highest good of the people around them. I'm hearing artists for some of you that like you use this like dynamic within yourself to create, or at least that was sort of the intention before you started on this life journey. You feel the emotions of loss and what you've lost. You're really in touch with the past. You may like have, I'm hearing time travel again, so like you may just like get trapped in that nostalgia of that one memory and keep coming back to it to try to understand it. But it's part of your soul purpose. Like, if you're doing that and you can't really change that, don't beat yourself up about it, because you're just gonna keep coming back to something until you're done with it. Like, that's just how everyone goes. Like, whether it's good for them or it's bad for them, you can't make them stop doing it until they're ready. But I feel like people around you really make you like, they make you, it's like they're like, you have enough, you have so many people looking out for you, you constantly get what you want, I don't understand what's wrong with you, or like why you feel like you're getting the unfair end of the stick. But it's like part of your soul purpose is being misunderstood in that way, where people think about you, they don't see the real you, and they project on you because of it, and they just like, I don't know, they make it your problem. And though like you're really good at just staying aligned with your soul purpose, and you know, it still affects you. Like, passively you observe it and like you take it in subconsciously, and you feel like this, it's like people expect you to appreciate what they do more, but it's like out of a selfish reason. Maybe people try to give you something, or like give you a part of themselves, but you're not interested, and people are like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you not take this opportunity? I feel like you're not a person who's easily swayed by like money or bribery or manipulation, or really just anyone trying to trick you or use you in any way. And because you turn away from those things, and you just intuitively are like, no, I'm not going to deal with that, I'm not going to be controlled in that way, well, those people get annoyed, and they're like, why can't I do this to this person? Or why doesn't this person submit to these kind of behaviors? Like, why don't they just understand that that's how the world works? But part of your, it's your soul purpose, because you are stepping out and being the person who's like actively turning away from like, oh, you have all this, I don't know, like, it's almost like if somebody went to you and was like, I'll give you exactly what you want for like your soul or some shit like that, you would know better. And I don't know, the reason why that's part of your soul purpose is because people are so easily swayed by like the material world, and you are more focused on like your inner feelings. You're more focused on like the pain people get from being so focused on that material world, and you see that happening around you where people just get so focused on that loss of like they have something and then like it's gone. You know, it just keeps going on, and you keep getting something, you keep getting more, and you keep taking it, and it just keeps happening. It's an unending cycle, and that's what you're more focused on, is like that pain. You might have major like Pluto placements or like just transformation on the daily basis because you feel this soul pain constantly, and you see it reflected in everything. And people don't understand that about you, yeah. But you kind of open people up to that energy of like realizing how much pain they're causing themselves by not ending those cycles. Because they feel it off of you. Like they feel that pain coming from you. And people get aggravated with you, or you attract people who get aggravated with you because they don't want to change that about themselves. Like it scares them to like realize that they're actually causing themselves pain on a daily basis by their choices. And it's frustrating for you because you have to like watch this person struggle with this like attempt to reconcile with their own pain or realize or understand their own pain, and you can't really, no matter what you say or do, it doesn't have an effect on them. Like they just kind of, you know, they don't change until they want to. Your soul purpose involves like, I don't know why I keep switching to soul purpose. Your spiritual power, Jesus, is aligned with like unconventionality, like not the mainstream way of doing things. You're probably not gonna go to college, probably not gonna do the whole like career climbing capitalism bullshit. You will have a different way of income or a different way of energetic living than the mainstream person. Like a lot of people in your life might perceive this as just like imbalance, like not being in balance, not having a direction, but it's just how you operate, and it's going to actually bring you a lot of abundance. Like part of your spiritual power is being able to operate under these unbalanced conditions and stay in your power, stay balanced. Like it's weird, you can stay in balance in the unbalanced energy. It's very powerful. Also, I'm hearing that like you have an influence over like the wheel of fortune. Like you have an influence over the way time passes. You might be really good at manifestation, or you might have a really acute understanding of like, you know, cause and effect, time. When I'm hearing when the wheel of fortune spins backward for you, or things go wrong for you, you have a way of just like manipulating it back, manipulating it in a way that's beneficial for you. So like even if it's a bad thing and it happens, like you manipulate it in such a way that you grow from it in the best way that you possibly could have from that situation. And it's actually kind of amazing. Like you might be famous later in life, or like you might just have a large following in general already, because people just feel that energy within you where it's like this powerful inspirational energy that it's because people want to take it on within themselves. Like the people that embrace that want to have that like part of you that just is unafraid to let go and surrender to the mercy of the universe, because that's when you feel the most in tune with yourself and the most in tune with the people around you. And it's like other people around you like fight that or resist that because they fear that lack of control. And part of your spiritual power is showing them that it's okay. Like it doesn't have to be a scary thing. It can be a beautiful thing. It can be a beautifully powerful thing with this Queen of Wands. And with this Knight of Wands, I'm hearing like you are going to be a shooting star. Yeah, you're going to be I just heard the spark. Like, you're gonna be the flame that starts it all. Like, people are just gonna be like, they're gonna look at you and they'll be like, oh, like, okay, and then they're gonna add fuel to the fire. You're gonna be the what starts that fire. Like, Spirit, give me messages on pile ones. Spiritual power. Spiritual power. Give me messages on pile one, spiritual power. Yeah, your spiritual power is really tied with your destiny and your soul purpose. Like, your soul, for the past few lifetimes, your soul had to be doing karmic work and was doing work for other people, and now your soul is in its spiritual power that lets it, by doing its own thing and by healing itself and by like looking after and like constantly karmically healing and shadow work with yourself, you help other people. So you, by letting go of trying to help other people, and you're just like, you're healing yourself and you're realizing the shadow sides within yourself and how you're hurting yourself and how that projects onto people around you. That's when you help heal other people, because your childhood and your past lifetimes were just a lot of pain on your soul. I'm hearing service of the Lord. You were working in service of God, and if not God, you were just working in service of other people. And you have a good heart, you have a good soul, like you have a strong inner child. Yeah, okay, so we have 6 of Cups, 8 of Swords in reverse, King of Wands in reverse, or King of Wands upright. Okay. Yeah, okay. So some people see you as some people genuinely project onto you this devil energy. Some people, when they're around you, they act as if in a way that you have abused them, or like they just act very, very weird around you because of their perception of you. You might remind them of someone, or maybe they really misconstrued something you did or the stuff you do on a daily basis. But I'm hearing that like when you walk around in public, you have this problem with people seeing you as like a bad person. So maybe like you have the look of someone like intimidating, but like it's like you're constantly aware of this, like it's like you're constantly aware of that energy, and you're having to like be balanced within yourself, and you're having to like, because even though I said King of Wands in reverse, it's like that's not who you actually are. It's how other people perceive you, and you see that people perceive you like that. So it makes you work harder to not be that King of Wands in reverse and be that King of Wands upright. Like, you are a fiery person. You do speak your mind, and if people see you in the wrong way, that's their own projection of you. I'm hearing channel. Some of you might be channelers. Part of your spiritual power is like talking to the dead. For some of you, other of you just channel. Maybe you're a spirit or spirit guide channeler. Maybe you're a spirit messages channeler. You do tarot readings. Maybe you do like Reiki healing, or you just, not even any of that. You just naturally within your soul daily, like when you're interactions with people, it's almost like you channel exactly like what the person needs to hear. And because, okay, I feel like part of your spiritual like power is when you learn to not be focused on other people and you're focusing like on yourself, you naturally channel that exactly what people need to hear in that moment, because you feel it. that's why it's not good to get too attached to like helping other people or like getting that energy and help someone else, because then you're just like trying to channel it and it doesn't come out of you. It just makes you sound like the person just doesn't understand you when you're like actually trying like that. But when you're just speaking of a way of like self-reflection and like honesty, that's when you just channel this like energy inside of you that people listen to. Like it sticks with them, it plants a subconscious seed in their mind. Also, part of your spiritual power is you have a tie to your twin flame soulmate. You have a tie to spirit guides, someone looking after you who you channel. You really, it's an energy that you like to channel specifically. That is part of your spiritual power. Like, don't be afraid to do that. People judge you for it. You get sad because you feel like you're not being understood for it, and you feel like you're not allowed to do it, or you can't do it, or it's weird that you do it. Just be you. Yeah, with this 8 of Swords in reversed, geez, you have to deal with a lot of people around you who don't change their karmic behaviors, who don't change their karmic patterns, and who actively do the opposite of that and like enable their toxic patterns and other people's toxic patterns to try to make themselves feel better about it. And part of your spiritual power is like you have a more observant energy in those situations where you're just passive and you're like almost detaching yourself because you need to. You have no other way of being in those moments. And it's almost like you receive downloads or you become like hyper analytical in those moments. Just like something about when you are in those moments where you're just seeing this person is just projecting onto you and like hurting themselves, and they won't change, like they actively won't change, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're in this state of learning, and you're in this state of like, it's part of your spiritual power to be like kind of like apathetic and just watching them like that. Like it ties in with your spiritual power in a way that you like, when you are in a stressful situation or something like that, you're able to just detach yourself and see it passively like that, because you've had to do it so many times with people. Because if you get emotionally attached to what they're saying, it only ends up hurting you, and you end up trying to help them, and it doesn't work because they won't listen. Don't forget to stay hydrated, guys. But yeah, the person watching this just has a very like, I keep seeing the infinity symbol. You have a very unique relationship with time, and you revisit your old memories a lot. Like you may have been treated bad for it, or people tell you it's a bad thing, or sometimes you tell yourself it's a bad thing. It's only a bad thing when like you start obsessing it and it starts to make you feel bad. It's supposed to be a way of healing for you, because you can very acutely go back to those moments and just analyze them and observe them. Part of your spiritual power is speaking out about those moments and those specific traumas, and speaking out for people who keep wanting to go back to someone who won't change, who won't let go of their karmic patterns. You have people you love in your life, or friends in your life who you see that pattern in, who just like, they want to help, but they can't. You see it the same thing within yourself. And when you're healing that part of yourself that like wants to help people, but you know you can't, and you know you're helping them more by stepping back and letting them learn on their own. It's like when you are in those moments of realizing that, and you're talking and you realize what you're saying is what you're learning about yourself in the moment. And the people around you, you're like, oh yeah, you're right. Did you just come up with that? But they're genuinely like, yeah, you're right. Or like, they listen to you. Because they feel like you of all people are going to understand. Alright. Spirit, what is what is pile 1 spiritual power? Give me those details. So we have the Hierophant first. Look at this. Look at this card. I love this card. Look at this card. I love it. Can't see it that well. It's... I don't know. People, when they look at you, they're just like, wow, this person is really strong. This person really has, like... It's almost like people who read auras or feel energies like that, they're like... When they feel your energy, they see your energy, they're like... It's almost like they're taken aback by, one, how powerful and, like, firm and strong of an aura and energy you have, but also, like, how protected you are. Like, it's almost like people see... When they see your aura field, they can see, like, actual beings, like, with you, standing with you, watching over you. People who might, like, channel for you or have you've done a mediumship with have, like, channeled people beyond the veil who watch over you. I don't know, part of your spiritual power is, like, you influence and inspire people with your strength and faith in what you do and what you believe, and your own words. Like, you believe that people deserve better, and I mean, deep down, people feel the same way. They know you're right. Spirit, give me one more card for Power One's spiritual power. Okay, we have 2 major arcana here, which is very beautiful. We have the Hierophant, we have the Hangman. Look at his little, like, crown chakra right there. And with the Hangman, he is also projecting out of his higher chakras. His third eye is projecting the hologram of a snake. And then we have Virtue, 3 of Wands. Leo energy for some of you too. I don't know, fire, water energy. Part of your spiritual power is having this, like, strength and virtue. You look towards the future and it's like, it's not that you're optimistic, but you know better than to just be sitting there self-pitying yourself or creating the reality of just, that's not for you, you know? It's not that you know what you're going to do in the future and you're like, oh, my future's going to be this, 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 and this. But you have an ability to surrender to the present moment that your future just makes itself. And you know how to manifest that with ease. And you're not afraid to just surrender to the events that happen in the universe. So it's almost like the universe guides you towards the exact future you feel you need in that moment. And I keep wanting to say people see this about you. People don't bother to see the real you when they're projecting onto you and they're angry and vengeful to you and hateful to you, but some people are just so inspired by this energy you have. Like, it's like they feel like you are really powerful. I'm not joking with you right now. Like, healing in your sacral chakra, or even, I'm feeling heavy sacral chakra energy right now, where you just, like, people feel this sense of power from you. And you have this ability to balance yourself in pain with the Hangman and, like, see the illusion of it, or see past the spiritual pain and make something out of it with this 3 of Wands. And your faith that things will turn out how you want in the future, and your faith that the pain isn't real and that it's not all you are, makes you, like, it makes your spiritual powers skyrocket. Like, part of your spiritual power is, like, growing within your own spiritual power. Like, you just, every time you use it, you believe in it more. It's like, it gets infinitely more powerful, and you feel yourself on a soul level changing. Yeah, part of your destiny is just being like inspiring people with this like sage energy where you just understand pain, you talk people through their pain, and you make them aware of what path they want to take, like what path brought them here, where they are now, and where they can take themselves, and like the fact that it's their option to stay in a state of pain or to go towards a pace of growth. Wow, that was very powerful reading. Pile 1. Thank you. Hey there, Pile 2. If this is you, little mannequin guy, this is also you. Spirit, what is Pile 2's spiritual power? You already know your spiritual power, I'm hearing that. Or you are very in tune with your spiritual power already. Look at this beautiful ass fucking lust card. Wow. Okay. Those of you who already know your spiritual power, those of you that don't know your spiritual power, it has to do with art. It has to do with creatively expressing yourself. It has to do with creative interpretation and emotional healing. Wow, this art card is beautiful. We have just an energy of creation here. You have a deep well of creation within you. Like, you have a deep inner light. Your inner child is very bright. There's something about you that's just getting masculine energy of just creation, like beautiful, fiery, watery. You just have a heart full of love, and you're not afraid to give it out. With this 9 of Cups, you are abundant with it. You're not afraid to use it in all situations, and honestly, it makes you happy. It makes the people around you happy. Getting Leo energy from this lust card, we have a lion and the woman aligned with the lion and touching the horizon. Pretty sure this is the strength card. And the art is also a major arcana. So 2 major arcana aligned with this 9 of Cups happiness energy. Part of your spiritual power is your inner light and your sense of happiness and love and abundance. When you feel aligned and in harmony with your inner shadow side and the shadow side of the world around you, and you accept it fully, that's when you it's like this ego death where you feel so connected to the universe that you can just it's just there, and you have this like abundant happiness well up within you, and you're satisfied right there, and it's like you want to give this out to people. You want to share this with the world. So for those of you who are creators, this is your sense of art, your creative expression. Like, it's that moment when you feel it in your heart that you're doing what you're meant to do, and it's for other people, and you're sharing that happiness and love and beauty with other people. That's your spiritual power, and it's powerful. So beautiful and powerful. I'm hearing the star. Some of you might receive fame for what you do, or people just are very, it's like they need that energy from you in the world right now, of just beauty and love and happiness, unadulterated, unconditional, blissful. People get so attached to this need for fear and hatred. And it's like with your art and creative expression, you want to show people like this love that's not only just like, oh, happy, like love, but like deep acceptance of pain and the things we go through, love, and accepting selfish actions and that forgiveness of people and their selfish actions. But not only forgiveness of people in like a mercy way, but a forgiveness of people in like a strength way, where you separate yourself from them and you block them off and you show them what it's like to truly love yourself and not be insecure, and to do what's best for yourself and walk away from a situation that doesn't serve you. And having that spiritual power to do that, you inspire people. If your spiritual power isn't attached to art or like creative expression, I'm hearing that creative expression and art will help you heal this parts of yourself and make you just feel, more in touch with like creating for fun and without like restrictions, or without like needing it to be for other people or for healing yourself. Like obviously those are good reasons to create, but deep down, creating for fun is okay too. And like sometimes it takes you a different place. Someone's watching over you and pouring their happiness and love into you. So that's part of it. Yeah, someone who really loves you and just wants you to succeed, wants you to be happy, wants you to express this beautiful well of love you have within yourself. Spirit, what is Pile 2's spiritual power? What is Pile 2's spiritual power? We have Hermit. Look at that beautiful aura. We have Seven of Cups, sideways. We have Six of Pentacles. 5, 6, 7, yeah. 5, 6, 7 with the Hermit. 6 Pentacles and 7 Cups. Wow. So you were put on this earth to look within yourself and share and project this energy of just like spirit, of unadulterated spirit, unadulterated love, unadulterated inner child energy. And again, I'm going to say inner child is not just happiness. Inner child is expressing yourself without taking without feeling like it needs to be a certain way, because when you were a kid, you didn't understand other people's perceptions of you. You only understood from because you were trying to learn and figure out who you even were at the time, because you didn't understand how the world worked at all. It was just kind of being created as you went along. And you have a way of staying in this energy of just like, you don't attach yourself to a specific set of like, the world needs to be this way and this way and this way. You have a completely open mind, and you help other people have an open mind, and your sense of love makes you tap into every single person's like sense of love, sense of fulfillment, sense of like giving and taking. I'm getting a little bit of mischievous vibe from some of you, and Some of you like to, like, you know, just take a little taste of every single cup. And that's fine. Just don't use people. Don't put yourself above people. Yeah, I don't see that you put yourself above people. You're not very arrogant. You're pretty humble, but just like be careful about what these different cups have to offer, because, you know, some of the cups are poisonous. As soon as you touch them, you will die slowly. So be careful who you interact with and who you share that cup of love with, because you have a very pure soul and you have a very pure, like, beautiful light energy of just giving, and you know how easily that can be taken advantage of. Like, I know you steer clear from that and everything, but I don't know, man. I think it's funny because part of your spiritual power is that, like, you touch those bad people and you share with them, and it doesn't seem like this. They seem like it because they don't change, but they'll always remember you and how you affected them and how they affected you, and that's just part of your spiritual power, man, because you have such a deep effect on people with this hermit that, like, you give them a lesson. You give them that doubt within themselves that they can't let go of, or that new feeling within themselves of, like, inspiration that they can't forget and they always remember and take from, because they feel like they need you. Some people might get obsessed with you or try to control you, but you don't let that happen. It's like, even if they do, it's like they're taking from you. They need to get from you. Like, you're the giver in this situation. And some of you are just really funny or really humorous, and you make people laugh. Some of you might be comedians or, like, musicians, and people want to, like, just take your energy or take your business or, like, use you for money, but it's like they need your craft. They're trying to take control of what you do and what you give out to the world, and they just can't do that because you're protected. You're protected by all these people who love you, and you're protected by, like, learning all these lessons from all these different people's senses of love. You know, like, you built this protection within yourself where you're like, you're not gonna be stupid. You're not gonna, like, let people fucking try to take advantage of you. You see right through it. And it's like you give them a lesson. You're like, here, if you want to think like this, it's like you know exactly what to say to be like, so is this what you really want? Like, I don't know. It's just funny how you express yourselves to people. It's like, even though sometimes people get mad at you for it, or they're like, what are they trying to tell me what to do? But it's like, you say it in such a humorous way, or in such, like, a light way, where it's like, it's kind of out of love, you know? And it makes them actually think. Like, it makes them, like, they're like, yeah, they weren't being mean about it or anything. Like, they were just being like, they were just pointing out your bullshit. Like, you were just pointing out their bullshit. You weren't being, like a menace about it. You were just like, yo, like, okay, and then you're just like, that's not me, okay, bye. Yeah, people see you as, like, someone fleeting. Like, they're like, oh, I wish I could, I'll keep a piece of this person in my heart forever, because I'll never forget them, because they were just gone so fast. Or they just, like, they feel like they can't keep you, or, like, they can't control you, so they just, like, oh, they mourn over you. But it's just, like, part of your spiritual power is being people's muse, or being people's, like, thing they look back on, because you channel your spirit and your love and your happiness from such a unfiltered state where you're just kind of like, okay, and you're, like, letting it out there even if people are afraid of it. When people think back on it, it's like the blueprint. I don't know. Yeah, you give to everyone. For those of you who will be going down the fame route, like, you will not be changed by the fame. You will not be changed by what people think of you, because You're going to stay aligned with that part of yourself that's just giving out to all these people and filling their cups and making them feel love, and like by just letting it be unfiltered within you, and like letting it be okay to give to everyone, because you want to be able to share that with everyone. And like that's part of your spiritual power, is like that want to love people and to give to them from your own sense of love. You don't need them to change, or you don't need them to feel affected by it. You just want to make them feel happy. You just want to share that love and give them a moment of happiness. It's almost like no matter how mean people are to you, you see through it. You don't let it affect you, because you're just a really loving person, and you see past people's dumbassery, because you love them for who they truly are, and this projection of themselves, this ego, isn't who they truly are, even though it is a part of them and what they are like doing to you right at that moment. It's like you don't let it slide. You're just like, you see both parts of them, of like who they truly are and how they're projecting, and you're just like, you acknowledge both parts, and you give active love to both parts, and then you step out, then you step away, because you're not going to get attached to that. You're not going to attach to giving that to that person. You're just like, it's okay to love both parts of yourselves, instead of trying to divide yourself in two. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. So, part of your spiritual power, we have 7 of Cups in reversed. Astaroth, Justice in reversed. And Bune, the Sun in reverse. Your shadow side is like, it is not subtle. You are very direct with your shadow side. For those of you who have done your shadow side healing, you use your shadow side to your advantage, like a sword, and you cut through shit. Now, make sure to not get attached to things changing, or you actually being able to change with your shadow side, because justice in reverse, you won't get your justice. It'll just keep happening. But when you do disattach yourself and you move on, your light and shadow side is completely balanced, and you use your shadow side to your advantage. You use your shadow side and your light side to bring justice to situations that didn't get justice, to people who need to change, or people who need help from those people who won't let them change. Wow, you break fucking people's illusions. People have like these illusions of who you're supposed to be, or who the people they're trying to control are supposed to be, or who themselves are supposed to be, and you just like, you see straight through it and you break it the fuck down by giving love and seeing both sides, shadow side, light side. It's like you see exactly in people where they didn't get justice within themselves and how that caused pain, and you rip it right the fuck out. You flip that justice right over, and you're like, give your fucking self justice. And this brings you a lot of abundance with the 8 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Lots of abundance. Lots of abundance. You are healing karmic patterns. And so, like, when I say abundance, I mean karmic abundance. Like, you just get things karmically. Like, good luck, good energies. The universe supports you in your journey of, like, being able to give out love and not being taken advantage of for it, or people not like hurting you or hating you for it, when you're just like besides the normal like spiritual lesson stuff, like universe looks out for you for everything you've done for other people and how strong you are for not being afraid of like giving out this light, and the strong shadow side that comes with it. Like, you have a very strong shadow side, and sometimes it might scare you, but if you just do healing, or when you do healing, or when you have done healing, like it helped tremendously, and it made you feel so powerful, because there's this powerful light and there's this powerful shadow, and you feel this beauty. I don't want to say any more than that. But part of your spiritual power is seeing through your own illusions, seeing through other people's illusions, bringing justice to parts of yourself that never got justice by exploring the shadow sides of other people and exploring the shadow side of yourself. You are not indecisive, and you have a purpose to fucking cut out these karmic stuff. It's like a passion of yours. You're like, no, there's no reason for this to be happening anymore. Excuse me. Wow, that was a lot quicker reading, but you're just you're a quicker person. You do not let these energies slide. You are not subtle or slow with your invitation for people to change. You are blunt with it, and you are Knight of Wands with it. You just it's like you see these people's memories of like what hurt them, and you're like, you say exactly what needs to be heard for them to like to shut them up and make them think about like what they're doing. But yeah, that is your reading, pile 2. Hi, pile 3. If you chose this toad with the coin tree, this is gonna be your reading. So I was given this toad at a, what's it called, antique festival, and the guy who gave it to me told me that the toad was based off a legend of a toad who, well, not a toad, it was a person who was so obsessed with being rich and loved being rich so much that they wanted to be immortal. And somehow they got a spell or something that let them do that. But what they found out after the spell was completed was that the consequence was that they would have to be a toad for the rest of their life. So they get to live forever as a golden toad who sprouts millions of coins, out of their back as a tree. And so he was like, if you were attracted to this, you probably should just be thankful of how lucky you are. And also avoid, he didn't say this, but I'm thinking they probably also avoid getting too attached to the material world and what it brings you, because the toad is made out of gold, and it's just making more gold out of itself. Like, okay. I guess you get to live forever doing that. Spirit, what is pile 3 spiritual power? We have King of Cups in reversed, 6 of Swords, Seer, 3 of Wands, Temperance in reverse, Give me a minute while I channel some energies. Your spirit guides are talking to you. They're saying we all are here. So your spiritual power has a lot to do with playing a little demon figure, playing a little devilish figure. It's like it has to do with some sort of distraction of some section of some sort of hierarchy, some sort of, no, not hierarchy, some sort of structure that exists in the world. And you like bringing about chaos to that little part of the things. It's like you are advocating for disharmony. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm getting this vibe where you're just like, you're going against the general norm. You're going against what people might think is the more... what people just think of you as weird or unconventional. They're like, why is that person doing this in that way? Or how is that person doing this in that way? And the way the cards are set up, it feels like everyone is just looking at you. Like it's just the storyline of someone's looking at you and someone's looking at them, looking at you, and like someone's looking at them, looking at you. Like, it's just this spiral of people you might your spiritual power might be attached to your family or like your ancestors, or like you're repeating some sort of cycle of some sort. Yeah, it's like you see the future, you already know your future. Because oh my god, because you've seen it in like your soul family or your real family, in like your blood family, your blood family, I mean. Like they've either told you exactly how it's gonna go, or you've seen it in them, because they have that same spiritual power. You have, it feels like family, just people who you are attached to, who like look at you and judge you, or it's like they want you to act a specific way and they're holding it out to you and you're like, this is how you're supposed to act, and they're staring at you and the fucking thing in their hand is staring at you and you're like, it's almost like your spiritual power is like doing the same thing and being like showing this person. It's like you cut off this person's head and you're like, look, do you like it now? Do you like it now? Oh my god, that's so dramatic. No, it's not like, not literally, but it's like you're showing them exactly what you're doing. You're like, okay, so you want me to do this, and it's like the exact opposite of what they said, and you're just holding it out to them in their face, just the exact same annoyingness of them like shoving it in your face. Yeah, you're a more introverted person. You need more time to yourself. You know yourself very well because you spend a lot of time with yourself. You re-energize that way because people just suck the energy out of you sometimes. Part of your spiritual power is like this sense of inner knowing you get from being alone. Yeah. Something about the energy you get tapped into when you're really alone. Like once you feel energized and you might like talk to someone while you're still in that energy, they just see this beauty within you. I don't know why that feels so tied with your spiritual power, but it's like people see your spiritual power. They feel it from you in those moments where you just like, I don't know, you just feel so that in touch with yourself and sure of yourself because you understand yourself when you're alone like that. I just had a vision of that scene in a Marvel movie of some sort where the Valkyries were all flying on their Pegasus. It was a really like artsy moment. And they were all flying on the Pegasus in slow motion towards like Thor and Loki's sister. I forgot her name. And she was all like throwing the sword, and then the girl was all like, oh, and the girl was like, no. And then they're like, she's like all like holding her while she's like dying or whatever. I don't know. You might have really liked the Valkyrie or something, or if you don't know that scene, you might just like have these moments in your life all the time where things feel really dramatic. Like it feels like almost like a cinematic dramaticness because it's like it's all it happens in such a way where you're like, did that really happen? Like what the hell? And like part of your spiritual power is having this like these weird things happen to you all the time where it's like it almost seems like esoteric or surreal or metaphysical. Yeah, part of your spiritual power is like your spiritual power is like very in tune with the metaphysical world. Like it is very very sewn into the metaphysical world as of right now. With this King of Cups in reverse, you are emotionally disrupting the norm in your situation. So like whatever situation you have, spiritual learning, spiritual lesson, your spiritual power is bringing emotional disruption to whatever is being like normalized right now, and people are like people are just like fine with it. You're like, no, let's change that. And it's like you use your emotions to challenge people's view of you. It's like there's this inner part of you that's looking inward and you're like, this is how I really feel, and I see other people feeling the same way. Why is everybody faking it? I don't know. It's like people watch you do this and they're like, ugh, what is this person talking about? But it's like they can't stop focusing on what you're doing. They can't stop focusing on what you're saying, and they're like, wait a minute. I just saw 11:11 on the clock. I don't know. I just get this sense of like inner knowing from you where you just like, you know things about people, you know things about yourself, and it's like people may see you as like cocky or headstrong or something, but it's just like it's almost like it annoys you at this point. You're like, please stop. You're like, please just shut the fuck up. Like, I see past your bullshit. Yeah, I just saw King of Cups in reverse again. Yeah, you have a lot of people in your life who are just like not emotionally stable, not emotionally wise or mature. Spirit, what is Pile 3 spiritual power? Spirit, what is Pile 3 spiritual power? Nine of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles. 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords. No. And the World. Some of you might have a Pisces moon. You're just very like, your emotions are very like, you don't show this to other people, but when you're alone, you're like, oh, this is so sad. Why me? Oh my god, no. Yeah. But it's also kind of a joke to you. You're like, wow, this is so sad. Oh my god, why? Knight of Pentacles, I'm just getting this energy that, like, part of your spiritual power is just, you're just abundant within yourself. It doesn't even have to do with the material world or emotions or anything like that. Like, you're chill. Like, you have so much abundance within yourself because you've been through so much pain that, like, you're not going to sit there and cause other people pain, but you're also not going to sit there and take more pain. So you're just like, it's almost like you found this self-fulfillment within yourself, especially like when you're alone and you feel it most aligned with yourself. And you have those moments where you just feel like your heart chakra is opening. 14:14 on the clock. Like, you're just chill. And you don't think too much. You don't get obsessed with your emotions. You don't get obsessed with your, like, things you need. You're just like, okay. And you feel like you have everything you need to just express exactly what you need to express in every moment. And you understand that, like, this pain needs to stop, and you're letting go of all this pain. You're actively letting go of it because she's dropping all these swords. And you're understanding and accepting that, like, we each need self-fulfillment within ourselves, and we can only find that by ourselves. And you're expressing this abundance outwardly in your spiritual power because, like, when you're just chill like that and you don't take bullshit, then people, they don't make you take it because you don't let it happen, and they're just like, oh, okay. The universe is like, oh, okay, then it won't happen to you. And it starts to, like, change the people around you perception of you. When you just have the self-fulfillment in yourself, you're letting go of these past painful experiences, and you're expressing, like, inner abundance without needing all this other bullshit, without needing all this, like, oh, I need this now, I need this now, I need this to feel self-fulfilled. No, you feel self-fulfilled in the moment by letting go of these past pains and letting go of, like, being attached to pain in the moment and, like, putting that on other people or putting that on yourself. No, you see what you have around you, and you, like, you let yourself feel fulfilled with that, and you make other people think, like, you actively express, like, why aren't you just okay? Like, why can't you just, like, why do you keep trying to torture yourself? Like, why do you keep trying to expect these impossible things out of yourself when it's situations like that where it's unnecessary? Okay. Spirit, what is Pile 3 spiritual power? We have Queen of Swords in reversed. We have the Moon in reversed. Beelzebub. Oh. We have Page of Cups. Wow, that made me happy. Those 3 cards made me very happy. Queen of Swords in reversed. With the Moon. You don't deal with cold people. You don't tolerate coldness or rudeness or disrespect like that, especially when it's under some sort of illusion or under some sort of, like, stupid premises. Like, you actively express, like, Page of Cups, you're like, you are like disrespecting my space and my sense of self right now. Like, you just like, you cut people down who like put other people down, and you're just like, it's almost like you point out exactly the reasons that, like, you know, the moon, they're in that moon energy, and they're into the illusion of like being in the right or being under control of that person, the situation. You're like, oh, I don't know, you may like actively like help people who are being bullied sometimes, or stand up for your friends who are like got some toxic exes. Yeah, you help people with their pain. Definitely. You help people see when they're letting their pain affect them and hurt other people. You've had so many fucking ego deaths, and so, you had to deal with your pain so many times, and it's almost like you see this stupid pain where people project it onto other people is superficial, because you're like, you're not actually in that type of pain if you're just gonna fucking like project it on other people. Like, it's like you don't even care about yourself, let alone other people. Like, it's just it almost offends you, because you're like, I know you can do better. Like, I know you can be a better person to this person right now who you're like, who you're saying you love, but you're treating like shit. You don't, like, you see when people are like being indecisive within themselves, and you're like, you point it out. You point out. You point out exactly what they're doing. You point out exactly what they're trying to control and trying to get at, trying to manipulate the situation. And it almost makes them stop. It makes them be like, it makes them indecisive, and they doubt themselves. Like, you need to point that shit out when you see it, because those people need to fucking doubt themselves. These fucking Queen of Swords in reverse energy who are just using their power, using their influence to just cut other people down and hurt them. No, you bring them out of their illusions. With this moon in reverse, part of your spiritual power is being disattached from the illusions within yourself that you've ever created, or being disattached from other people's illusions and seeing straight through them and not letting them like influence them with like, sometimes people can convince other people that they're really under some sort of illusion with the like, they're like, oh, I don't understand this, or I don't like, no, you see straight fucking through it, because you know better about this person, and you help a lot of people through situations where they just wouldn't know better because they trust the person that they love. Yeah, I'm getting that you might have some like therapist vibes, or you help people like with healing. You might be a healer, light worker, but you are efficient at this. Like, you, part of your spiritual power is knowing what you're doing is right, and knowing that it needs to be done, and that people can't sway you. Like, you're very firm in what you do. You're very firm. And sometimes you have to be cold with people. Sometimes you have to like, it's not even that you're cold to people. You are warm to them, and that you're like genuinely giving them advice and being like, if you're gonna keep being an asshole, you're gonna be treated like an asshole. With this Page of Cups, little dude, Stolas. What the hell? It's Stolas from fucking Hell of a Boss, dude. Is it really? Oh my god. Okay. Wow, that's so cool. Okay, so if you watch Hell of a Boss, you might, if you don't, it's a little inappropriate, but I recommend it. Stolas is this demon, owl demon, who like, it's so cool. There's like this whole sequence where he coughs out his own feathers, and then it's like a weird, like, his beak is opening, and it's like a scary owl sound, and he's like, ah, ha, 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 and the whole room goes dark, and there's blood everywhere. It's just so creepy. Dude, you have a way of like, it's like you turn on your shadow side, and you're like, it's like when people are being assholes, you turn on your shadow sides and you scare the fuck out of them. Like, you genuinely, when you're protecting the people you love, you can be fucking scary. Genuinely. No fucking lie. Like, with this Page of Cups, I'm getting the energy that like your sense of expressing of emotion is protecting other people and protecting your own energy from like being hurt or being like just unfair, injustice, bad shit, negative energy, low vibrations. Part of your spiritual power is kind of like this scary, like, dark part of you that you, had to experience in your childhood, just like darkness, and you're not here for it now. You're healing your inner child by, like, showing people exactly, like, giving them a taste of their own medicine. Maybe part of your spiritual power is, like, you can fucking see the darkness in people and show it right fucking back at them, which is really cool. It's almost like a mimicking sort of energy, which I can understand. And with this moon in reverse, like, I'm feeling this, like, light energy where, like, with the moon in reverse, I'm not imagining the sun, I'm imagining, like, the moon is not being shown in the sky, like a new moon, and you can't see it from your perspective, but you know it's there, but all you can see are the stars. And there's always, there might be a certain star in your life that you look towards within yourself, or look towards for inspiration and, like, yourself, and being like, knowing that if you wouldn't let this happen to your star, then you wouldn't let this happen to yourself. Or it's like you have this guiding light within yourself that keeps you on the right track and keeps you aligned with who you really are and who you want to be, and, like, healing your inner child. And then also, like, you might have, like, really powerful dreams where you get really in touch with, like, the earth or, like, the universe, and you may hear spirits talking to you, or spirit guides. And then also, like, if any of you have, like, experienced your own Merkaba, or, like, it's like you see geometric patterns in the universe, and I'm getting the vibe that you have gotten in touch with the core of the earth and, like, the Metatron, and that's part of your spiritual power, is just being in touch with the Metatron in general, and speaking. I'm hearing like you're a channel for the divine. Like, I'm getting Libra energy. You bring justice to situations exactly when justice needs to be brought, and you say exactly what needs to be said for people. Because that's your sense of Page of Cups, like, expressing yourself and, like, finding fulfillment within yourself. Interesting. Reading, part 3.